There's a gleam. Let's get the gleam, all right? Let's go.
Here's the reality. 7 million followers, whether you think it's cringe or you like it, we're on CNN on a Thursday night, and we're talking about it on national TV.
But I guess my question is, to what end? I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I mean, maybe you will get 7 million eyeballs. But
I am not accustomed to helping your party do anything.
Yep.
But let me give you some advice. This was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And if you read the comments today, Lord have mercy. Look, scrambling for new social media and communication strategies is not a replacement for fixing what's actually wrong. Your party has a 21% approval rating right now, Congressional Democrats.
But let's talk about fixing what's wrong. Donald Trump is doing nothing for the American people.
And he has a 50% approval rating.
But he's doing nothing for the American people.
I don't know how the Democrats came to appoint Jasmine Crockett as the unquestioned leader of your party, but thank God. And I think what she should do is go on TV twice as much as she is right now, maybe 3 times as much, because every time she appears and makes one of these mistakes, says something radical, it only further divides her party from the rest of the other 80% of America who can't stand this. But the problem is there's an audience for it. I heard Jimmy Kimmel's audience cheering on Tesla vandalism. I hear the Daily Show audience cheering on attacks on Elon Musk. I hear the human rights audience cheering on an attack on a man in a wheelchair. And I realize this is what the left has become. An angry mob of people who are cheering on attacks on a guy in a wheelchair and vandalism against people who bought a Tesla. It's pathetic. No lesson could ever be learned as long as you're doing these things in front of audiences who roar when you do it. When you have comedians who are broad messengers for the left making unfair jokes and people are roaring. When you have politicians.
Boston City Councilor Tanya Fernandez Anderson has just been taken into custody.
Here's video from moments ago of the FBI outside a Dorchester home. We told you earlier this week the city councilor is under federal investigation, but neither she nor the city would tell us why. Officials cited the U.S. Attorney's Office, saying the integrity of a grand jury investigation would be impaired by disclosing information.
Fernandez Anderson has represented District 7 since 2021 and has faced several scandals. Last year, the State Ethics Commission found she violated the conflict of interest law by hiring her sister and son and raising their salaries. Fernandez Anderson agreed to pay a $5,000 fine. Just last month, the State Office of Campaign and Political Finance sent her campaign a letter saying it had not timely filed deposit information and had taken contributions over the legal limit. Once again, Boston City Councilor Tanya Fernandez Anderson has just been taken into custody by the FBI outside her Dorchester home.
Right now at noon, the Georgia State Supreme Court ruling Douglas County probate judge Christina Peterson be removed from the bench. According to a decision issued today, Peterson violated multiple rules in the Code of Judicial Conduct. This decision comes days after Peterson was arrested at a nightclub in Buckhead. Good afternoon. I'm Rick Fulbaum.
And I'm Lana Harris. So Peterson now faces 2 charges: simple battery against a police officer and felony willful obstruction of law enforcement by use of threats of violence. The Georgia Supreme Court says Peterson is not eligible to be elected or appointed to any judicial office in the state for at least 7 years. Peterson's lawyer says the charges against her should be dropped and that she is now, and I quote, evaluating her next steps.
Tiffany Henyard, former mayor of Dolton, Illinois, faced significant political and legal challenges in early 2025. In February, she suffered a landslide defeat in the Democratic primary, securing only 536 votes against challenger Jason House's 3,896. This loss followed investigations into her alleged reckless spending, including accusations of using town credit cards for personal expenses and lavish trips, contributing to a financial deficit in Dolton. Additionally, on February 25th, federal authorities issued a subpoena seeking records related to a development project involving Henyard's boyfriend, Kamal Woods, as part of a broader probe into her administration's activities. These events culminated in a significant shift in Dolton's leadership and ongoing federal scrutiny.
cannot just go and say, I like it, it's mine now. It doesn't work that way. Well, that is what they're trying to do. And in this new world order, yeah, absolutely. When they're looking at Greenland and say, I like it, I want to take it for mine, that is a very colonized.
You have said you are trying.
I have never ever said we're going to go to Greenland and quote colonize it or steal it.
You're not a member of government, so you're irrelevant at that point. I'm talking about the president of the United States doing that.
You got fired from your job.
You can agitate.
If you want to engage in personal insults,
I don't, but you
what
do.
You lack in a legitimate point, you make up for in personal insults.
I don't. You
personal
do.
Insults. The point I am making is in this new world order, we are looking at countries, whether or not they're an adversary or ally, it is being determined on what kind of deal we can get. And we cannot govern, we cannot legislate that way. We are increasingly isolated on the world stage.
No, we're not.
So if you want to engage in personal
We're
insults,
not
if I were
isolated.
you, I would reserve that for your party, who
We're
is
not
increasingly isolated. This will our position
outside of the United
If I were the devil, if I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness, and I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. And in his own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol of Christmas a bottle. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who wanted until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. And what'll you bet? I couldn't get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich. I would caution against extremes in hard work, in patriotism, in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be. And thus I could undress you in public, and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever this video finds you, welcome to Tix. Had to start off with that as a reminder. I think that'll be a Monday weekly reminder. But I started off with the Scott Jennings intro. because get a little racial here before we go religious. Us as black men on YouTube, our biggest gripe is, of course, black females. I personally, knowing what I know, what you all should know, you know that you're sleeping, literally sleeping next to the enemy. I'm not saying all of them are like that, but you don't know who is like that. What's up, blood boiling? You don't know who is like that. So it's just best to use precaution. You have zero control over a sentient being. And trust me, they can be all nice and smiles and warm and giving you the best sloppy toppy you've ever had in your life 1 minute. And then you walk out the house to go to your car and her simp, pookie boyfriend is making you catch the business end of a 38 out on the front lawn. In the complete setup. Oh no, not Roger. Not 2 days after he signed the insurance policy making me his beneficiary. No, he came over Friday night. We had a nice dinner. We Netflixed and chilled. Did a little paperwork. I mean, I had that boy in there screaming and creaming all the way up till it was Monday morning and he was on his way to work, and then, some guy in a shiesty just murdered him in cold blood. I mean, them little $30, $50 dates to Applebee's don't sound too bad in a situation like that, do it? But you know, this is why I tell my people, why I tell y'all, audience, those that listen, you need to start carrying. You need to start carrying. Go and get you a gun. You can get one from any pawn shop that sell them. All right, or you can go to any gun store. You can get one for like, on average, $300 or less. All you need is just something you can put in your pocket. Go and get you your carry conceal license if your state requires it. There are a lot of states now that you see that don't. As long as the gun is clean and it's in your name, you own it, you're fine. You know, a lot of states now, or thanks to Biden, believe it or not, you like I said, you can have the carry conceal, you don't need the license. But it's best to let an officer know. If you all of a sudden get stopped, it's best to let an officer know. But your gun safety laws, you really need to read up on them, because there's way too many people out here who think that just because they have a gun, they Billy Badass. And they think that they're the Punisher. And they find themselves on the wrong end of the law. Anybody that's a gun owner will tell you, especially those who carry concealed, and Simeon, tell me if I'm wrong, they'll tell you flat out, their job, what they do is best to de-escalate. Because I don't want to have to pull this on you. I want to have to pull the strap on you. If I put a strap on you, that's trouble for me. I mean, you'll be physically towed up, but I'm the one that's going to be walking around here breathing free on 2 legs, fighting court battles. I don't have time for that. It's just best to de-escalate. Only time you pull it is when your life is in danger or other people's lives are in danger by some idiot with a gun. Yeah, the legal troubles are too much. I don't have time for that. That's why I have a body cam. I got a dash cam. Because see, you don't know when terror will strike you. You got more troubles with YNs in your neighborhood than you do out in the streets. But if you are out in the streets and you're out dealing with mainstream society, that doesn't mean you safe. You may be a little safer, but you're still not safe. You still not safe. Because you never know. You don't get a text message Tuesday, 8:42 p.m. at the Shawarma Shack. You're going to have an issue. You're going to have an issue.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
You don't know when that's going to jump off. You don't know when that's going to jump off. I mean, before, our whole thing was worried about, white supremacist mass shooters shooting up a grocery store or a church or a school or something like that. Times have changed. There's a new enemy running around this country and abroad. They want to globalize the intifada. Was that it? Globalize the intifada? Holy Land 5, the Muslim Brotherhood. That's a very new enemy here. They just busted 2 of them up in Michigan that were planning a Halloween terrorist attack. Oh, we're going to get into all of this. Let's jump to the Brown University shooting, because this happened on our soil. And of course, the guy was heard screaming, Allah Akbar. Let's go.
We begin tonight with the manhunt in Providence, Rhode Island for the Brown University shooter. What you're seeing here, this is new video just released in the last hour of a person of interest wanted in connection to the case. The FBI is now offering a reward of up to $50,000 for information leading to the identification and arrest of this person. Thanks for joining us on this Monday night. I'm Priscilla Casper.
And I'm Colton Bradford. Now, this comes after a...
Hold on. Priscilla ain't bad, is she? She ain't bad at all.
Thanks for joining us.
She's not bad at all. You know, she got the tan and orange working. All right. No wedding ring. All right. You know, we gotta do these things because, you know, we men, aren't we? We're men, aren't we? Okay. Yeah, she's not bad. She's a nice little 7 there.
On this Monday night, I'm Priscilla Casper.
And I'm Colton Bradford. Now, this comes after officials announced late last night that the person they took into custody yesterday was released.
And, you know, for the record, yeah, you know, you see he rocking that watch. He making sure that watch is being seen, ain't he? I mean, who the hell holds a tablet that way? He definitely making sure y'all see his little bling bling.
Saying the evidence no longer supported detaining him. All day, city, state, and federal officials and authorities were spotted combing the streets of Providence, trying to...
They still haven't caught this guy, by the way.
...to get any leads. The gunman opened fire on a classroom. That happened on Saturday afternoon, killing 2 people and injuring 9 more.
And we're going to learn more about the 2 victims as part of our team coverage tonight. But first, our NBC 10's Oscar Margain has the very latest from officials who just spoke this last hour. Oscar, what did we learn?
Hey guys, well, this new batch of videos that was shared and images really is meant to try to get the public to share more information. They want new leads in this investigation. They've also upped the presence of police, not just on campus, but throughout the city here, saying that people should have nothing to worry about, trying to reassure everybody here. However, with the gunman still at large, the students we spoke with are starting to question that safety. New surveillance images shared by Providence Police Monday show what they've described as a person of interest in the Brown University shooting.
Every minute counts.
Video shows a person dressed in black and dark green clothing, wearing a face mask and a beanie, walking down several streets near campus.
We're at the 49th hour, and there's no one that wants to put this individual in handcuffs.
It's nice to see Fat Joe got a job. Nice to see Fat Joe got a job. But more than likely, because we live in an Orwellian society, you're going to track this guy. They probably have already tracked this guy back to his house. Already know the layout. And they're ready to do what they're going to do. That may have been who they were talking about. I doubt it. But more than likely, he was not acting alone. Usually terrorist cells, even though they're lone gunmen or lone attackers, they're part of a network group. So more than likely, somebody, of course, helped them escape.
Than us.
Students on campus waking up to an increase in police presence, from FBI agents and canine dogs to investigators in hazmat suits searching for evidence in a dumpster.
I don't know why. I mean, isn't Boston one of those defund the police states? Shouldn't they have the social workers out there digging through the dumpsters and whatnot? I mean, how are you a defund the police state or defund the police city? A big crime pops off, and now all of a sudden you got the police doing what you don't want them to do. Help me make it make sense.
Everyone now that I know is really just trying to get off campus as fast as they can.
Students like Ethan Mokina questioning safety on campus.
It's crazy that you can walk into a classroom building, open fire, and then walk on out just like casually.
Saturday's shooting happening at the Barris and Holly building where students were testing.
Wow.
All in all, 11 students shot, 2 of them killed. Now identified as Ella Cook and Mohammed Umartakov. The following morning, police detained a 24-year-old person of interest at this hotel in the town of Coventry, only to be the wrong guy.
We will be releasing the person of interest who had been detained.
Now I had to tell myself it'll never be me again. And now my school and my community is broken.
Mia Tretta is reliving a childhood trauma. She was shot by a gunman at her high school in California 6 years ago.
In a matter of 8 seconds, my life was changed forever.
Despite Saturday's shooting, she believes Brown University does a good job at making her feel safe. But while some point to potential issues,
there just weren't a lot of cameras in that Brown building.
Mia believes safety is on legislators.
It doesn't really matter how safe a city or a suburb or a college town is if people who want to do bad things have access to firearms.
Oh gosh, you had to make the anti-gun.
Now, as you guys mentioned earlier in the show, the FBI is offering a reward of $50,000 for any information that leads to the capture of the gunman. Now, you have a phone number there on your screen. They're asking for you to call with any information to 401-272-3121. Reporting live in Providence, Oscar Margain, NBC 10 Boston.
Oscar, thank you. Let's turn now to NBC 10's Mary Marcos to hear from those who knew the 2 students who were killed in the shooting. Mary, what are those young people saying to you?
Well, Colton, they are saying it's really hard to describe this grief. They say Mohammed was an incredibly supportive friend with a bright future ahead of him. All of that was taken away when the gunman opened fire and escaped down this street.
You know what? I can't help it. I like to see the style. Like the one guy that was doing the reporting, that dude, he was wearing a members only jacket, but he had a good style for like Boston. She's got a good style for Boston. You know, she's bearing that coat though. Got the hair on fleek. We see you. We see you.
He dreamed of becoming a neurosurgeon. Instead, his life ended in a class he wasn't a part of.
Mohammed wasn't even supposed to be in the classroom.
Before the shooting, the freshman from Virginia was just looking forward to winter break.
He was excited to go back home and see his sister.
Joseph McGonigal got brunch with Mohammed at the dining hall when they ran into 2 friends headed to an economics review session.
If you're going to a class or something, he would just like tag along because like just to keep you company. That's apparently what he did with that review session. He texted me a picture of the lecture and he said, guys, look, I got dragged into the econ session.
Less than an hour later,
Man, he was a super nerd.
Erupted at the engineering and
I have to say, he was a super nerd. He was excited just to go to class. You know, I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it. But just state the obvious.
Physics building.
The timestamp, I've looked at it like 100 times, is at 2:57. Some of us saw the people running out of the building from the 12th floor because you can see down.
Muhammad and sophomore Ella Cook were killed. 9 others were hurt. Kamal Nakvi was one of the first to see the aftermath.
There were, I believe, 2 people there. One person was shot on the shoulder. The other was shot in the abdomen or stomach.
It is truly devastating that someone this young with so much potential, who was so loved by the community, could be killed in the way that he was.
Yeah, you're just so broken up.
Now, instead of taking their finals, students at Brown are grieving 2 lives cut short.
It will keep happening unless stricter gun control laws are introduced, unless we can limit people's access to firearms, so that students don't have to worry about having finals week be their final week.
The problem isn't the guns, the problem is the people.
The city is making mental health resources available to the community, but the students we talked to say most of their peers are either heading home or they've already left. Live in Providence, Mary Marcos, NBC 10 Boston.
They were remarkably well spoken. Mary, thank you. Now, as the manhunt for the shooter continues, you want to stay with our team here at NBC 10 Boston on the air and online.
At any rate. So that's, yeah, 2 are dead. Soy boy alert. That's what happened in Boston, but you will not believe what almost popped off. I heard the son was doing all of this. You won't believe what happened out in California, what they stopped out in California. Beat this out. This was wild. This is wild.
By extremist groups and individuals, as well as the critical need for law enforcement agencies to remain vigilant in protecting our communities. The successful disruption of this plot is a powerful testament to the strength of our unified response, driven by the collaboration and tireless efforts of the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force, along with our allied agencies. Together, we have prevented a potential tragedy and reaffirmed our shared commitment to safeguarding our communities. I want to personally thank the dedicated men and women from every agency involved. Their relentless work over the past several days has ensured that those responsible were apprehended swiftly and safely and without harm to our neighborhoods. Thank you. I will now call up Sheriff of Los Angeles County, Robert Luna.
This bastard.
Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for being here to cover this, what I believe is a very, very important story for our community.
Remember
this successful operation was...
Remember all that crap that was going on with ICE out in California? Yeah, he was supporting the terrorists / protesters.
The result of quick, proactive, investigative work, and I want to emphasize strong collaboration. And ADIC, Akil Davis, mentioned it and gave credit to all the law enforcement here in Southern California. It is better here, it always has been, than anywhere else in the country, and we're very proud to be part of the Joint Terrorism Task Force. For us at the Sheriff's Department, we've been part of it since after 9/11. Their ability to share intelligence across multiple agencies, investigating threats like this one, is second to none anywhere else. The way we coordinate with partner agencies and act quickly was critical to the success of this operation. And like I said before, there's no other area like here in LA County with our partnership that has been there for years with the FBI and LAPD and the other law enforcement agencies around us.
This is a circle jerk.
Since this threat was uncovered last week, our Sheriff's Task Force officers and intelligence analysts working closely with our law enforcement partners have been working around the clock to verify information, identify targets, and piece together this plot that you've heard described. Their strong investigative efforts, sharp situational awareness, and rapid response ensured that this threat was stopped before it ever had a chance to be carried out. I'm incredibly proud of the professionalism and dedication shown by the men and women who worked tirelessly to bring this threat to an end before it could cause harm to anybody in our community. To our community, I know hearing about these incidents like this can be unsettling, especially in the light of the recent Brown University mass shooting and the Sydney, Australia terrorist attack.
Well,
But today serves as a powerful reminder that strong collaboration between federal, state, and local law enforcement can prevent violence before it occurs. As we enter the holiday season, a time when families and friends come together across traditions, cultures, and beliefs, this incident is a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance and to be prepared at all times.
Well, then you need to tell your Gavin Newsom governor, your Karen Bass mayor, hey, we need to work with ICE in getting the criminal illegals up out of here. Because it's not, who do you think is creating these, who do you think is creating all of these attacks and all of this violence?
Vigils whose goal is to divide us, to instill fear, and to target the very diversity that makes our country strong. I want to be very clear, what you see here, this investigative work and the follow-up that's been done shows that they will not succeed. Our community's diversity is our strength, and protecting every member of our community is our primary duty.
Not our strength.
Whether you are celebrating Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's, or simply gathering with loved ones, you deserve to feel safe. We are committed to ensuring that safety today and every day. We remain dedicated to protecting our entire community through ongoing intelligence gathering and threat assessments, strengthening partnerships across all of our agencies, engaging with the public to promote awareness, vigilance, and resilience. And finally, I encourage everyone to stay alert, trust your instincts, and report suspicious activity. And as we always say in law enforcement, if you see something, read something, or say something, your awareness, your eyes and ears can help us protect the entire community as we did in this incident.
But you don't even live by that. ICE has been asking you to hold people that you arrest that are illegal until we come pick them up. Call us and tell them to come pick them up, and you don't do that. And let me tell you why diversity isn't our strength. I'm so sick of people saying that. I'm gonna tell you why diversity isn't our strength. If in your culture, snuggling girls under the age of 18, don't matter, from birth to 18, if snuggling them, forcing them into marriage and whatnot, if that is part of your culture and our dominant culture, that's a big no-no. They throw you in jail for a good 20 years for that. If you snuggle somebody's underage daughter, are we supposed to respect that because of the diversity clause? This is part of your culture, so therefore we must respect your culture because of diversity? Or do we punish you according to our unity? This is why Europe has fallen. Europe has fallen to the snugglers because it's just part of their cultural identity to kidnap your 14-year-old daughter on her way to or from school or whatever, drag her into an apartment building, 5 or 6 men to snuggle her, ply her with pills and alcohol, to keep her from screaming and compliant, force it down her throat. And then when she finally gets away because they've had their fill of her, she goes to the police and they charge her for illegal drug and alcohol use. And therefore her snugglers get away with it. But if she says, hey, these bastards, these whatever nationality they are, be they Arab or sub-Saharan, she calls them a derogatory name, they did this to me, she'll go to jail. Not only will she face charges on illegal consumption of alcohol and pills that were forced down her throat, but if she calls them a derogatory name or talks mean about them, she'll also face charges for that. while they get to walk away scot-free. This is what's going on over in Europe, by the way. They're letting these sub-Saharans and Arabs murder their children, European-born children, letting them murder them and get away with it because it's part of their culture. They have Islamists in their government that they bend over backwards to because of, diversity is their strength. Man, you don't get the hell up out of my face with that.
I will now introduce the police chief of the Palm Springs Police Department, Andy Mills.
Well, good morning. And first of all, thank you so much, Assistant Director Davis, for the spectacular job that the FBI did on this case. We were just in a very supportive role, only making sure that the FBI had what they needed
more
in the desert
glazing.
to execute their
God
mission.
damn, what is this like?
But
Watching
on a larger
Newer Standard
perspective,
play
I just
football?
want our community to know that this gives me hope.
Hold on. Let's get to the real meat and potatoes.
On December 12th, a group.
Let's get to the real meat and potatoes. Because good Lord, here we go. All right.
In the cooperation between
This guy's the only guy
safe,
who's
whether that's immigration enforcement.
all right. This guy right here, this is the only guy in California who you can take at his word because he was sent there to clean up everything that's going on wrong out there in California, including crime and financial crimes. He's just there to clean up crime. That's his job. He's a Trump appointed attorney general.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that. Obviously, there's some disagreements amongst our agencies over things like immigration enforcement, but when it comes to other areas, law enforcement, where it matters to keep the public safe, whether that's protecting the girls on Figueroa Street or the Palm Springs investigation, there is no gap in the cooperation between the federal government and local government. And we do thank the sheriff, the police chiefs for your valuable assistance. It would be very difficult for us to do a lot of what we do without their assistance. So I do want to thank you, each and every one of you.
And this guy look
With that,
worked
we'll
out.
open
Look
it
at
up
his
to a
shoulder.
few, questions.
Look at his
I'm
neck.
gonna play the
his
video.
neck shoulders. This dude work out.
And this is the video is. Do you want to describe the video?
He get the body slamming everybody in that
As I mentioned in
room.
my talking points, on December 12th, a group of individuals, again, members of this anti-government group, traveled out to the desert to test their explosive devices. They had precursor chemicals there, and they were going to create these bombs in the desert. What they are starting to do is put their chemicals and wares and the components out on the table there. This footage that you're watching is from our surveillance plane. And then what happened after this is the Los Angeles FBI SWAT team, along with the FBI's hostage rescue team, moved in and arrested all 4 subjects without incident.
So now we'll take some questions. Yeah, we're not naming the victim companies, but I'll generally describe them as logistics centers. You can think of like Amazon type logistics centers, but we're not naming the specific companies at this time. There were at least 5 locations that they intended to target within Orange County and Los Angeles County. Again, we're not giving out the specific sites, but they were willing and wanting to do more if they could recruit more members to their radical efforts there.
Yeah, because understand, these people were on the FBI's radar for months, and then they turned it over to him. He was like, I'll take the case. I'll take the case. So they had these people under surveillance for months, trying to figure out what they were doing, if they were actually going to go through with it. This is why you need to be very careful with the things that you say over the phone, through text, online, etc. Because the NSA has a record of all of this, and it flags. Everything gets flagged. It flags, and then it checks the context of the conversation, and it decides whether or not it should warrant the attention of somebody working at an office at the NSA, and then they shoot it upstairs. You need to be very careful with the things you say and do, whether you're on the phone or not. Your phone is always listening. If it's in a room with you, it's listening, whether you're using it or not. It is 100% a communications device. It's spying on you, just like with Alexa. Alexa, play Blue Jazz. Alexa is always listening to you. Anything with a microphone nowadays is listening to you. And the NSA picks all of that up. Why do you think it's so hard to get away with crime nowadays? They will find you. They'll use all types of video cameras or whatnot. They'll subpoena your phone records. There is no buying a burner phone thinking that you're getting away with something. No. It all gets flagged. It's just waiting on somebody with a search warrant or with a warrant to come and retrieve it.
There are definitely more members to this group. As far as who was specifically involved in this New Year's Eve terror plot, we believe we've arrested all the members who were specifically involved in that particular plot. We did execute search warrants to people who are also part of this group. As we review that evidence, if we determine that there are any other individuals who knew about this or provided any assistance, we will obviously be charging them as well. A person arrested in Louisiana is not directly tied to this incident, but he is a member of this group. And when they executed the search warrant out there, he posed a great threat to the agents. He threatened the agents, and so that's why he's under arrest. Well, obviously, the FBI has a very robust national security investigators. They look out for domestic terrorism as well as international terrorism. You want to talk more about your activities with the Joint Terrorism Task Force?
So this investigation is ongoing, as just stated. This members of this group,
like I said, that stuff gets flagged and kicked upstairs to the FBI, and the FBI alerted him. Hey, this is what's going on. Let's coordinate some efforts. This is what we got on these people.
or associates of this group or any collaborators in this group, we are looking at as a result of this investigation. To answer your question, we do believe that we have disrupted this plot for New Year's Eve, but like I said, the investigation is ongoing.
As far as we're always looking for other people who might be plotting or doing this. And let this be a warning: if you can avoid being detected by the FBI or the federal government, if you think you're going to be able to design one of these plots, think again. We have very sophisticated, experienced agents, and we will find you and we will infiltrate you and we will arrest you, as we did with this group. They didn't see it coming, and each and every one of them is right now in custody. So we're very proud of the work done by the agents. Yes, any other questions? Oh, it's just a name. Yeah, why is that name on? I think that was that's Page. Zachary Aaron Page, 32. Okay. Any other questions? Did you want to? Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. It's Captain Mike Lance, Media Relations Division. As I discussed earlier with you guys, the chief has agreed to give you an update on that tragedy. Just understand this is based on some updates of the tireless work of our investigators from last night and through the night. We're still at the very early stages of this investigation, but again, Chief's prepared to answer any questions and give you a brief update. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Captain Bland. As he said, the information at this stage is...
All right, so they're getting kind of in the weeds here, but here are the people that they got arrested. Okay. They called it Operation Burnett Force. So you got Audrey Carroll, aka Siganak, Black Moon. Of course, these are liberals. These are your white liberals that you take orders from through black women. Zachary Page, aka AK Ash Kerrigan, Cthulhu's daughter. What? You're a dude. But anyway. Tina Chin Ting, Laya AK Kickware, and Dante Anthony Gatfield, aka Nomad / Cedar. So you got two goofy whites, an Asian, and looks like somebody from the Middle East. That's who were planning this terrorist attack. These four goofballs. Well, these were the four that were arrested. These were the ones that are out in California. Anyway, let's move on.
You see the man in white there run.
All right, so this is a video appears to show, video shows moment Bondi Beach shooter is disarmed. There were two shooters, but this is the one who got disarmed. And this guy, he got shot up, if I'm not mistaken.
You see the man in white there running up and
This is in
tackling
Australia.
that suspected gunman. There is a struggle, and you can see he appears
He should
to
have shot
wrestle
his
what looks
ass.
like a shotgun out of that man's
He should have
hand.
shot his
The
ass. He should have
individual
killed
in
him.
white has not at this point
He
been
should have killed him.
identified, but local leaders
He should
are
have killed
hailing
him.
what they say were extraordinary acts of personal courage by people who just jumped in at the scene. It is very likely that that man saved some lives by appearing to disarm that gunman. We
should have
know that
killed
at
him.
least 29 people were taken to hospital.
Look at this old
Among
man
them
throwing
are
a
two
pothole.
police officers. Authorities are saying police were on the scene and engaging in
Here's the
gun
other
battle
shooter.
with these shooters within
This is
just
the other
minutes.
shooter.
Police are also saying that they found a car linked to the killed gunman, which does appear to contain improvised explosive devices. Now, the bomb squad there in Sydney is probing that vehicle. They are looking for more clues. They are looking for more details about the motives. And Willie, a massive police investigation is now underway, but we can already say at this point that this is one of the worst gun massacres.
And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.
A disturbing anti-Semitic terror attack on one of Australia's world-famous beaches, as thousands of Jews were celebrating Hanukkah during a family-friendly event. Who are Sajid and Naveed Akram, the father-son duo who allegedly killed at least 15 and injured 40 more during Australia's deadliest mass shooting in nearly 30 years. During an otherwise peaceful day at Bondi Beach in Sydney on Sunday, two terrorists unloaded a barrage of bullets at beachgoers during a harrowing onslaught that lasted more than 10 minutes. In addition to children, the victims also included a rabbi and a Holocaust survivor. Disturbing footage from the scene shows the two terrorists, one of whom had a shotgun and the other a bolt-action rifle, firing round after round from a bridge overlooking a Hanukkah by the Sea 2025 event, which had a petting zoo and a bubble station for the.
This is a dead body right here, just so you know. That's why there's blocked. That's why that's blacked out like that, blurred out. That's a dead body right here. That's a dead body.
Kids. Authorities said the two twisted gunmen were believed to be a father-son duo who had a trove of legally owned guns. On Monday, New South Wales police revealed the shooters' identities as 24-year-old Naveed Akram and his 50-year-old father, Sajid. Naveed is in critical condition after being hit by police, while Sajid was shot by police and died at the scene. Improvised explosive devices were recovered from the deceased gunman's vehicle at Bondi Beach, according to police. Officials said Sajid was part of a gun club and held a recreational hunting license for over a decade. New South Wales Police Commissioner Mal Lanyon said the officials were still looking into the pair's background because they knew, quote, very little about them. The BBC reported that Minister for Home Affairs Tony Burke inferred that Sajid had permanent residency in Australia and arrived in the country reportedly from Pakistan on a student visa in 1998. His son Naveed is an Australian citizen who, according to the Times UK, worked as a bricklayer.
Sleeper cells. They come in on those student visas. A lot of them be sleeper cells. A lot of them be sleeper cells. You wonder why Trump stopped having immigrants come in from third world countries that are known for harboring terrorist organizations. Why he took away TPS for Somalians, as well as a bunch of other third world country groups. Because they come in as students and get that TPS and those student visas, and then they turn around and do this.
Had been out of a job for weeks prior to the shooting. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese confirmed that Naveed had come to the attention of the country's intelligence officials in 2019, but was given a clean bill of health, with no indication that he would engage in violence. According to a report from ABC, officials said they had taken an interest in Naveed after he was found to be an associate of Isaac El-Matari, a radicalized Sydney man who was arrested and jailed for starting a local Islamic State cell and planning terror attacks. Australia's intelligence chief Mike Burgess confirmed that one of the gunmen was known to the agency, but was not deemed an immediate threat. He said the agency was looking into the matter. ABC reported that investigators from Australia's Joint Counter-Terrorism Team believe the gunman had pledged allegiance to an Islamic State terrorism group. Officials told the outlet anonymously that 2 IS flags were found inside the father-son duo's car at the ravaged beach. Despite cops reportedly being nearby, the gunman went unchallenged for more than 10 minutes. It wasn't until a heroic shopkeeper tackled and disarmed one of the terrorists that police appeared to return fire. Shocking video captured the moment that 43-year-old Ahmed Al-Ahmed, wearing a white shirt, sneaked up behind the shotgun-wielding gunman and wrestled the weapon away from him. After a daring struggle, Ahmed, who owns a local fruit stand, then pointed the weapon at the terrorist, who fell to the ground before scampering away. Ahmed was shot twice in the arm by the second terrorist during the heroic actions and was taken to a hospital for surgery. In the aftermath of the attack, Australian officials are now considering bolstering the country's firearm laws in New South Wales. Australia has been notoriously harsh on firearms ownership and cracked down following the 1996 mass shooting in Port Arthur, Tasmania, which left 35 dead and 24 wounded. Semi-automatic rifles were banned, and the country enacted strict registration and purchasing restrictions for all.
And it did nothing, which goes to show you that it's not the guns, it's the people.
And now Australian leaders have agreed to tighten their nation's already tough gun control laws.
Authorities say that it was actually a father and a son who opened fire and people gathered to celebrate the first night of Hanukkah. 15 people were killed, at least 38 others wounded and in the hospital. The ages of those killed range from 10 to 87. One of them, a Holocaust survivor, shot and killed, shielding the bullets from his wife.
An act of pure evil, an act of terror, an act of anti-Semitism.
You could just hear the gunshots and they're just so loud. And we didn't know which way that they were shooting.
Remember, diversity is your strength.
Australia says the older suspected attacker was 50 years old, had immigrated to the country in 1998. He died in a gun battle with police. Authorities have yet to reveal his country of origin. They do say his 24-year-old son was born in Australia and is in critical condition after that shootout. New gun control proposals include limiting who can obtain gun licenses in Australia.
One of the most talked about moments of the attack is that stunning act of heroism, a man tackling and disarming one of the shooters. Take a look. Oh! Well, the man who wrestled away that weapon you see here, identified as
God, he should have shot his ass. He should have.
43-year-old refugee from Syria has 2 children and owns a fruit shop. Relatives say he had surgery after the second gunman shot him in the arm and in the head.
This tragedy is affecting people all over the world, especially the Jewish community. KTVU's Amanda Quintana is live at San Francisco's Union Square, where the giant menorah display was lit last night, and hearts were heavy with the thoughts of Bondi Beach.
You know, this is why I say, and I said this earlier in the year, when those 2 Jewish young people, that Jewish couple got shot, I was like, you can pretty much forget it. Any type of immigration law that the United States is trying to pass is going to get through. I mean, because we know who had their fingernails in this country as far as politically. Like, so you can forget it. You're going to call yourself trying to fight against immigration laws, but you're going to lose. You're going to lose because outside of Israel, this is, in all honesty, I mean, Israel, they call that the motherland, but it's not. It's not. This is your power base right here. America is your power base. No matter what, no matter what your ties are to Israel, this is your power base. Just like us that are ADOS or FBA, whatever the hell you want to call yourself, Black Americans, whatever. This is your power base right here. It's just that your focus is not on, it's not focused on power. It's focused on punani. You're more so worried about the women that you qualify for, thinking that they are above those qualifications. That's what you concentrate on. When in all honesty, as Black men, personally Black people, but as Black men, when I talk about self-improvement, which shouldn't start an argument, by self-improvement, there are three things you need to get together. You need to get your health together and your money together, or your money and your health. It doesn't matter which one, but definitely you need to get your money together, because your money is where your power base lies. You increase your tax bracket, you increase your circle of friends. Your circle of friends have they can form a partnership, a circle of power. Yeah, I know a guy. You need this, I know a guy. You need that, I know a guy. It's called networking. You make sure you pay your people appropriately. If I have somebody do something for me, whether they want money or not, here you go. Just because you put in the effort. We call it tipping. You put in the effort. So here you go. Here you go. Here, bro. Here's $50. Here's $100. Whatever. You put in the effort. You did some work for me. I got you. Nobody works for free because nobody lives for free. But that's not what we do. That's not what we do as Black men. Because we're not taught to do that. We're not taught to be a unifying force. Especially against forces against us. We'd rather bitch and moan and whine on the internet than actually come together and form some type of camaraderie and a conglomerate in order to strengthen and better our lives as a circle, be it a peer group or outside the peer group. Either way, we don't do that. So we suffer. You get women sitting up here on these freaking blog talks or whatnot, talking about uniting with KKK members to exterminate us. Of course, the KKK is not going to do that. They're like, you guys do a pretty good job of doing that on your own. You don't need us. You are your own terrorists. You raise the men that you complain about, you raise them as Black females. You raise your own neighborhood encompassed terrorists. And you want us to do something about it? Why would we help you? We don't want you, boo. You really think you gonna bedwinch your way into safety and security? Do you not understand that I'm the type of guy that will invite 5 of my, friends to dinner that you cook and then have you held down and snuggled by all of them, whatever little kink they please, calling you all types of derogatory names? You probably like that shit. The way that you talk, you probably hoping for something like that. I mean, there's some weird, very weird women with some strange fetishes out here. Don't be fooled, fellas. Some of them like that master-slave dynamic. Do not be fooled. You label the black men that you create as domestic terrorists. You created that terrorist, just like the liberal, the white female liberal created you. You are a terrorist amongst society. As a black female, you are a terrorist amongst a liberal black female. You are a terrorist amongst society. And you raise your sons to be terrorists amongst society. And then you wonder why conservative blacks want nothing to do with you. Because you're terrorists and they see that. They don't give a damn. They're not raising your bastard children. They're not inviting their friends over so you can eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which one can I sleep with to cause, drama, ho? Like, anybody got time for that? So they step outside the community. Yes, I am referring to that black chick who went overseas to Thailand and got pregnant by a Thai man, and he's pretty much ghosting her. The only time he shows up, she didn't want to admit it, but the only time he shows up is to get his candlestick dipped in the wax and then bounce out. Tell her what she want to hear. Don't actually ever give her any money. But he just come over to tap and then bounce. He could give two shits about that kid. If he did, he would have married you. He'd have made you an honest woman. You and the child would be living up under his roof. But you're not, because you are nothing but you are a bed wench in Thailand. While you run around here chasing them behind black men, thinking that you can do anything that black men can do. Yeah, you can do whatever we do, but the thing about it is that you and I have different results. Your results are all negative. Ours are all positive. Because we are in charge of the power dynamic. Common sense would have told you, knowing that this guy isn't paying any child, because there is no child support. Was that your husband that you had a baby with? No. Then why are you here talking about some support for the child? You're a whore. We don't support children of whores. Common sense would have told you to bring your ass back home. That's not what you did, is it? You out there still trying to prove that you can make it, not understanding that when it comes to men are just no different than women. No matter what country we're from, we all pretty much have the same mentality depending on the circumstances. Of course, there's shades of gray, but there's a lot of black in that mentality. If I got you pregnant and I'm not trying to put a ring on it, you're a whore to me. You have no value. I'm not trying to buy diapers. I'm not paying child support. That's because I don't give a shit about you or that kid. Get it through your skull. You're trying to force me to give a damn, but I just won't. I just won't. Do understand a lot of men are really just kind of too lazy and feel that it saves them a lot of money to not rescind their parental rights through the court system. They just don't show up. That's globalized. Anyway.
Victims.
Yes, there was a special prayer last night, Sal, for those 15 lives lost. But this news hits close to home for the Jewish community here, not only because it happened at a menorah lighting, just like the one we had here last night in Union Square, but also some of the people here know the victims personally. Rabbi Simone Margolin, who leads the Russian-speaking Jewish community of San Francisco, tells us his colleague, Rabbi Eli Schlanger of Chabad of Bondi, is one of the victims.
Known as one of the most charismatic, inspirational rabbinical figures of Sydney. Just the last picture that we have of Rabbi Schlanger is his picture praying with another young Jew, and then literally 20-30 minutes later, his life was taken by the bullet of the terrorists.
It's a very, very, very hard time. A tragedy happened.
Let me take because I'm moving on to the next video. Let me make something abundantly clear to my brothers who are listening to this, who have anti-Jewish sentiment. No matter what the reason is, let me help you understand something here. This used to happen to you on a large scale by Democrats, the Confederacy. They used to attack you all the time. Now occasionally you'll get a Dylan Roof or a Tops grocery store in Buffalo, but it's very rare that it happens now. My point being is that this is being done by Islamists, these terrorist attacks. And if you're sitting up here supporting Islamists or Islam, I hate to tell you this, but one of the biggest slave trades that happened in recorded human history was done by Islamists concerning Africans, Black people. You think their ideology has changed? Why do you think Myron talks the way he talks? He's a northern Arab. North Sudan, not South Sudan. South Sudan is where the Africans live, and the North Sudan is where the Arabs. They don't even say Arab African, they just say Arabs. When the US took out Gaddafi, it was the Arabs that went into Libya and started enslaving the Black folks almost like overnight. The US never did clean that up, by the way. You still have slaves from Libya in Arab households right now. You really think that they see you as their brother? You think that you're a friend of theirs, of these Islamists? You're an infidel to them. Just like the small hats call us Goyas. Yeah, to them, you're an infidel. You're right up there with the white folks. You're right up there with females, if not on a lower tier, simply because you're Black. Take no pleasure in this, because this could be you. It's just that right now, these Islamists, they're going after what they feel is the power base, which is the small hats. They're going after the small hats. But once they get into power and the small hats out of the way, your ass is next. They'll subjugate you right along with the white female as they cut off the head of the infidel white male, the infidel Black male, the infidel Black child, unless they have some sort of physical attraction to them. These are the same people who have little boys twerking in huts and whatnot to their music. the war is not just against them, it's against everyone that's not an Islamist. That's what you fail to understand. But let's move along.
But there's no doubt that America's adversaries are trafficking fentanyl into the United States in part because they want to kill Americans. If this were a war, that would be one of the worst wars. I believe they killed over the last 5 or 6 years per year, 200 to 300,000 people. You hear about 100,000, which is a lot of people, but the number's much higher than that. That's been proven. And they've destroyed a lot of families, because when they lose a child, or even if their child is heavily addicted, you lose that family. The family will never be the same. That's why today I'm taking one more step to protect Americans from the scourge of deadly fentanyl flooding into our country. With this historic executive order I will sign today, we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction, which is what it is. No bomb does what this is doing. 200 to 300,000 people die every year that we know of. So we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
On the Syria ambush of U.S. forces, do you still have confidence in the Syrian president?
I do. I mean, this had nothing to do with him. This is a part of Syria that they really don't have much control over. And it was a surprise. He feels very badly about it. He's working on it. He's a strong man. And no, this had nothing to do with the Syrian government. This had to do with ISIS.
What will the U.S. response be?
As a response, they'll be hit hard. Yeah.
It's goofy. Fred Flintstone. What you got to say, Fred Flintstone? So apparently the question is being asked to him about the, because the title of the video is J.D. Pritzker accuses Trump administration of creating mass issue for all 50 states with funding cuts. Keep in mind, when he came in office, we were $36 trillion in debt. We were bleeding money through USAID, Department of Education, and NGOs. Supposedly, do understand, there's no supposedly. These organizations were nothing but money laundering organizations, all set up by the Democratic Party. And now the Trump administration is asking for these states. They want their voting rights records. They want their voter records. They want their driver's license records. They want their welfare and Medicaid records. They want all of their records that have anything to do with federal funding needed for them. They want all the records for them because they're doing an audit. DOGE is not stopped. It's just that DOGE, as far as like in the federal government, that stopped. But now it's going to the state government. It's going to all of these cities and states, mainly these states. They want to know what you're doing with these federal funds. They want an accounting for it. And if you can't turn over these records, then you're not getting any funding, which makes sense. This is what accountability is all about, especially in government. No more frivolous spending. So this is what J.D. Pritzker is being asked about, the government now tightening their belt and wanting accountability. And this is what he had to say. What's up, no news? Oh, sorry. So, okay, the question he's answering is about people having assisted self-deletion, which, in all honesty, I 100% support. If you feel that you want to self-delete because you have a terminal illness, or you're so old that your quality of life is just, I mean, it's just horrible. You're waiting to move on to take the eternal celestial dirt nap, and it's not happening for you. Y'all remember Kevorkian, Dr. Kevorkian, back in the 90s, 80s, 90s? Yeah, I think the Dr. Kevorkian method, it should be legal. It should be legal in the United States. If you feel that, hey, I'm done, I'm ready to go because of a terminal illness or diminished life capacity, there is no recovery. I think that you should have a doctor go ahead and say, hey, give you a cognitive test or whatever to make sure you're not being pressured into it or whatnot, and be like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and help this person move on. And I know it's considered a sin in the Bible, but there is no greater prison. There's no greater prison for a person than somebody who is incapable of wiping their own backside. Believe you me, I've been saying since I was 17, 18 years old, if I was ever at a point where I can't wipe myself, why am I here? Why am I here? I am a burden on somebody. Go ahead, and for those of you who are Dexter fans, go ahead and give me the lemon meringue pie. Please feed me the lemon meringue pie. It'll be the best pie I've ever eaten. I'll go out with a smile on my face. For me, it's cherry cheesecake. Give me the cherry cheesecake. I'll go out so happy. But that's the question that he's answering right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can y'all hear Pritzker speak? I know you couldn't hear the reporter because he's off in the cut. There's no microphone in front of him. But can you hear Pritzker answering the question? Say the Democrats operate like Keisha. The state money is their money, and the federal government money is their money. Yeah. No sound on Pritzker? All right, hold on. I'm sorry. It's StreamYard. All right, so look, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to refresh StreamYard. We'll go from there because I know usually when this happens, it's StreamYard. All right, hold on. All right, so I'm back. All right, so can you hear him now?
In these very limited circumstances.
Give me a 1 if y'all can hear this. Pritzker, that is. All right, hold on. Let me refresh this. Yeah. Full screen it. Can y'all hear it now? The hell, I cannot full screen this. Hold on, let me refresh it again. That's wild. I can't full screen that. There we go. Okay. No? Still no? Wow, that's crazy. Okay, all right. You heard him for a split second? All right. All right, so I'll skip this. All right, I'll skip this.
Tonight, newly released video and pictures of a person of interest in connection with the Brown University shooting over the weekend. And here's another video, this time from a different angle, showing the person of interest. Officials.
Can y'all hear them talking now? Yeah. F what? Goddamn.
Announced a reward of up to $50,000 for information that leads to an arrest. Thank you for being with us tonight. I'm Courtney Cole. More than 48 hours later, officials are doubling down their efforts to pinpoint the identity of the gunman. 2 students were killed, 9 others were wounded in Saturday's shooting. WBC's Brandon Truitt joins us live in Providence tonight. And Brandon, students on campus are still feeling on edge tonight.
All right.
Yeah, Courtney, I used to live here. I used to work here and report in the city. I love it, and it is hard to see it like this. You cannot go a block in Providence right now without seeing a police officer or 2. That shelter in place has been lifted, but you can't tell because the streets are...
Hold on, this is stupid.
Tonight, newly released video and pictures of a person of interest in...
Woman, shut up. Hold on. All right, so I can't get it. All right.
Well, some new details now in the case of a man accused of attacking a jogger. The prosecutor is now under investigation.
That's because the suspect is now out of jail on probation after a plea deal, which did not include a conviction, a decision the state attorney's office now calls an oversight. Fox 35's Marie Ettinger has been combing through documents all day, and Marie, the suspect has a criminal history, which has people in College Park concerned.
Absolutely. People here say they are terrified knowing he's back out on the streets. I did also reach out to the Attorney General's office about this case and about the prosecutor who the state attorney's office said could be in a bit of trouble. The AG's office says they are looking into that.
Finally, it's about time they started holding these judges and prosecutors, mainly these judges, holding them responsible for letting these criminals out on the streets. Like, are you dumb or are you stupid? But you know what it is? It's a leftist plot to undermine America by letting chaos reign supreme. That's what this whole defund the police situation really is all about. Defund the police, bring in a whole bunch of illegals with no jobs, a bunch of military-age males, a lot of criminals, and let them roam free and cause chaos throughout the country. And then the country will fall because businesses will close up because of crime. Notice that it's mainly the YNs that are causing that. The businesses will close up because of crime. You prosecute people who are defending themselves out here on the streets against these psychopaths. No different than Europe. And then through economic disparity, everything collapses, and thus you have government control. Welcome to socialism/communism.
Tyler Fate was arrested after investigators say a woman claimed she was out jogging when he held out his arm to knock her down and tried to mount her.
Can I say something?
His attempted sexual battery charge was dropped.
He pleaded no contest to battery, and a judge withheld adjudication. The state attorney's office says allowing that as part of the plea deal was an oversight by the prosecutor, whose supervisors will review the matter and take appropriate personnel action. So now, Fate is back on the streets.
I was definitely scared when I saw he was back out, just given his history. And there's a lot of kids and moms, and it's a big walking neighborhood.
Kate and Brian.
Now understand, if the chick that he attacked, if she'd have pulled out a knife and stabbed his ass to death, or even stabbed his eyes out, fucked him up real good, she would be in trouble. Just so you know.
Roger Brown lived near Fate's family and run into him pretty often. The Browns and others say they try to cross the street and stay off his radar when they do see him.
It's a little uncomfortable to know that he has a history of aggressive, to say the least, tendencies, but clearly they're not capable of keeping him somewhere where he's maybe not a threat to the community.
Fate's grandmother told me in a text his mental health has not been addressed.
Motherfucker, I would ooh. Imagine seeing this guy out in your neighborhood. You got two daughters running around outside playing, and then you got this POS running around your neighborhood, and you see him at the corner store looking at your little girls, knowing what he did. Can you imagine that?
He's been arrested.
By the way, this is why I say these goddamn Jasmine Crockett's and AOCs and whatnot, you want to sit up here and cape for criminals, these illegals and whatnot, and criminals and whatnot. Well, we will put them on ankle monitors and they get to live with you. You want to be a bleeding heart POS liberal all you want to, but you get to house these assholes. They get to live with you. Since you love them so much, they get to live with you.
Fate's grandmother told me in a text his mental health has not been addressed. He's been arrested 9 times in Orange County, often for violent and sexual crimes. He's rarely been adjudicated guilty because he also has a history of the court finding him incompetent to stand trial.
When they throw him in a, oh, that's right, I forgot. They closed all of the mental institutions because, you know, I guess what, racism? Is that what we're going with? We're going with racism?
In his first appearance for this case, he wound up getting hauled out of court. Now he's being put on 3 years of probation, where he has to stay 3 blocks away from the scene of the crime. That could be a challenge since his family lives a couple houses down from the intersection where the crime occurred.
It's unsettling and kind of knowing when it's going to happen again.
Fate also has to undergo psychosexual evaluation and treatment, even though the state attorney's office only addressed his battery charges in this incident, not the attempted sexual battery police recommended he be charged for.
You hear that? You hear that? Picture this face. That look on his face in your neighborhood. Can you picture that? He would be one of them situations where his parents, of course, you know, oh, my baby, we can't find him. And the police get to asking the neighbors, have you seen this pervert? And you're like, no. Everybody shrugged their shoulders. No. All of their Ring camera footage and whatnot gets scrubbed. And what that night, everybody's stuff got scrubbed that night. Professionally scrubbed. We don't know nothing. You'll never find him again.
Charged for. The state attorney's office did say the victim in this case signed off on the plea deal. I talked with her on the phone today. She didn't want to be interviewed formally because she says she doesn't think Fate would recognize her and she wants to keep it that way.
What?
In Orlando, Marie Edinger, Fox 35 News.
Marie, thank you.
Peter Jeffries last Friday.
Oh, this is funny. At least I believe it to be funny. So Jeffrey is asked if Bill Clinton should testify before House after appearing in Epstein photo release. You know, because they have such a hard on for trying to frame Trump.
Peter Jeffries last Friday, the House Oversight Committee Democrats released some new photos from the Epstein files. They included photos of President Trump, but they also included a photo of President Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton and his wife have both been subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee and so far have not complied to come testify. Do you think it's incumbent on President Bill Clinton to come testify, given he was in the photos that were released?
I think James Comer is not a serious individual. He has zero interest in actually standing up and supporting the Epstein survivors. He's been dragged along in this process because of Democratic leadership, including by the top Democrat on the Oversight Committee, Robert Garcia, and that James Comer is not conducting himself in good faith.
But do you think Bill Clinton should have to be dragged in and respond to Congress about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein? That was the question. This is why nobody takes you seriously. This is why you have a punchable face. This is what makes you a loser. You didn't answer the question. You're a scumbag.
In a little while, you'll be seeing I'm suing the BBC for putting words in my mouth, literally. They put words in my mouth. They had me saying things that I never said coming out. I guess they used AI or something. So we'll be bringing that lawsuit. A lot of people are asking, when are you bringing that lawsuit?
Oh yeah, the memes. Yeah, I posted some memes on my community tab. Hakeem got that tether hairline. That's a bad freeze frame. That's Hakeem. Yeah, no. Hakeem is oh my God. But anyway, as you hear, okay, I'll bring it back. As you see, they were asking Trump if he's going to sue the BBC. What the BBC did, remember the whole January 6th fiasco, they edited Trump's speech concerning January 6th to where it sounded like they cut out a portion of it and clipped it together where he was telling people, he made it sound like he was insinuating for people to, do what they did at the Capitol, where they, just forced their way into the Capitol building. So he's suing the BBC for that. Now, late last month, early this month, the people in charge of the BBC, some of their top brass, they stepped down, but they were fired, but they stepped down. Because when it came out, when Trump was like, you know what, I think we have a lawsuit here, that's when they had changes at the BBC. So now the question was being asked at the time, will Trump sue the BBC? Now here you have CNN is part of this package, this Warner Brothers package that Netflix is looking to buy, because Netflix wants the catalog, they want the entertainment catalog. Okay, they want the Warner Brothers entertainment catalog. Unfortunately for them, CNN comes with that entertainment catalog. They want nothing to do with that. So the guy who bought CBS, all right, and this is why CBS, they settled with Trump when they did their election, and he sued them for election interference. But when they did the same thing, they doctored the Kamala Harris interview with CBS to make her sound competent instead of playing her real answers. Trump had a case. He sued CBS. He won. They settled. CBS settled, and they sold themselves to this conservative dude. I forget the name of his company, but I'm just giving y'all the gist of it. So now some conservative guy will be in charge of CBS, just like there's going to be a conservative dude in charge of TikTok. And if this Netflix Warner Brothers deal goes through, Netflix, they're looking to dump CNN. The conservative dude who bought CBS is looking to buy CNN. Do you understand what I'm saying? So as you can see, the de-evolution, the devolving of the Democratic Party, the destruction of the Democratic Party, not only has it been happening financially, but also it has been happening through their media apparatuses. MS Now, you see Microsoft, NBC, Microsoft, They totally distanced themselves from that news network, which is MS Now. And as you can see, I mean, Trump derangement syndrome is just off the charts there. You ask them what time is it, and somehow it's Trump's fault. Like, but how is it Trump's fault that it's 3:45 in the afternoon? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that network is just went in the toilet, which is why they got rid of it. They dumped it. CNN being brought by this conservative dude, he's going to completely change the platform. This is why, like with Scott Jennings, they were talking about CBS trying to get Scott Jennings over to CBS to host his own show, and Scott Jennings was like, no, I'm gonna stay here at CNN. But dude, it don't matter. You're about to have the same owner that you would have had at CBS if this deal goes through. If the deal goes through and Trump, because Trump has to sign off on this deal. If he signs off on this deal, you can forget it. CNN, all of that little fear and race hustling garbage, you can kiss it goodbye. It's done. If you know this, ever since they sold CBS, CBS hasn't had any controversial clips coming out where they say something really stupid. I thought the BBC apologized. Yeah, the apologies don't matter. Oh man, if CNN goes away, one can only dream. They're going to stay, but their format is going to change, just like with the BBC. Their format is going to change. So now Trump is going to sue the BBC.
In a little while, you'll be seeing I'm suing the BBC for putting words in my mouth. Literally, they put words in my mouth. They had me saying things that I never said coming out. I guess they used AI or something. So we'll be bringing that lawsuit. A lot of people are asking, when are you bringing that lawsuit? Even the media can't believe that one. They actually put terrible words in my mouth having to do with January 6th that I didn't say. And the beautiful words that I said, right? The beautiful words. Talking about patriotism and all of the good things that I said, they didn't say that, but they put terrible words. They actually have me speaking with words that I never said, and they got caught because I believe somebody at BBC said, this is so bad, it has to be reported. That's called fake news. So we'll be filing that suit probably this afternoon or tomorrow morning.
That's wild. Of course, you know, Rob Reiner and his wife found dead in their home. Their son killed him. And Rob Reiner was full of TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. All right, this is just camera footage. Hold on.
Just coming into the Atlanta News First newsroom, where we are learning from a law enforcement official that says Rob Reiner's son has been taken into custody after the deaths of the director and writer and his wife, Michelle. The official confirmed 32-year-old Nick Reiner was in police custody Monday. The official could not publicly discuss the details of this investigation just yet, but Reiner and his wife were both found dead in their home on Sunday. Reiner, the son of a comedy giant who became one himself as one of the preeminent filmmakers of his generation, was 78 years old.
After blocking off a major...
Oh, meathead. I bet you $5 in the cheese pizza, well, I bet that it's probably over money. It's probably over money. $5 in a cheese pizza says it's over the money. He was waiting. His father was taking too long to pass away, and he was probably in debt, and his father wouldn't help him out. So he did what he did. I mean, why else would you kill your elderly parents or your elderly parent? Why else would you do it? Unless, you know, you're in debt. You're in debt.
After blocking off a major part of downtown Atlanta for hours, Atlanta police now say a suspect is in custody. This after reports that a man had a gun at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and was refusing to come out. Our Atlanta News First reporter Justin Berger is live on Peachtree and Andrew Young International Boulevard. Justin, you've been there for hours. What's the latest from out there?
Yes, Sydney, Peachtree and Andrew Young Boulevard is a block that way. That is still blocked off. We have moved over to the intersection of Ellis and Peachtree, which they have open. You can see the lingering police presence here. That is about where those SWAT vehicles were parked until 6 or 7 minutes ago. They just pulled out of here. The Ritz-Carlton is back to normal. We've watched a few people come back in and forth from inside the hotel, but police had set up a perimeter that stretched for 2 blocks here on Peachtree Street and then 2 blocks on Ellis Street. All of that was surrounding the Ritz-Carlton. Officers used tactical gear, including shields and long guns. It was a massive response from the Atlanta Police Department that affected many of the people staying in hotels and eating in area restaurants. People returning to their hotels were a bit on edge.
Oh, a little uneasy, just didn't really know what was happening. Staying a little right here, so wanted to know what was going on, if I was able to get back in the hotel, or just really what's happening. My sister's actually coming to pick me up, so kind of want to make sure it was safe for both of us.
$5 and the cheese pizza says it was a older YN, over the age of 25, who more than likely probably was trying to extend his stay. Credit card decline. I ain't going nowhere. Y'all have to throw me out. Y'all gonna kick me out. I mean, why else? Why else?
Again, Atlanta police taking that possibly armed man into custody this evening after around 5 hours of police activity here in a busy stretch of downtown Atlanta. Live in downtown Atlanta, Justin Berger, Atlanta.
Look, having worked in hotels for like 25 years, I'm telling you right now, more than likely, when you have a situation like this, it's because the guest wants to stay in the room. Just like the chick out in Washington, D.C., the squatter chick who didn't want to pay the rent through an Airbnb rental and whatnot. That's why I'm not doing any Airbnb rentals. You can forget that. I'm not renting out any rooms in my home. If anything, I'd rather buy the tiny house because it's already paid for. So therefore, if I have to eventually evict you from the tiny house, I'm not losing money because I'm not paying any bills on that on that tiny house. It's already paid for. You're on my land, so I'm already paying my land tax. So the only thing I'm losing is the monthly rental on that. But I'm not incurring any additional costs because the electric is through solar panels and the water is through a filtration system. So, you get it.
Now to a popular Chicago music venue and Riverwalk spot, now suing the city of Chicago and Mayor Johnson's administration, alleging race-based discrimination.
The venue's owner says the city took away his license to operate on the Riverwalk because of his race. Political reporter Paris Schutz joining us with the latest on this story.
Certainly, Sylvia and Terrence, a very sensitive situation and topic. The Beat Kitchen operated on the Riverwalk for 3 years. The venue's owner, Robert Gomez, says he turned a profit, generating $3 million a year.
Now, if y'all not familiar, Brandon Johnson last year decided that he was going to impose DEI on businesses in Chicago by terminating the business licenses of anybody that wasn't Black and granting business licenses to anybody that was Black. So this is the fallout of that.
Annual sales.
But Gomez says the city chose not to renew his license to operate there, even though he says he was, per city rules, the most qualified vendor, and he's filing a federal civil rights lawsuit alleging the city revoked his license because of his race, instead tilting the scales to encourage and favor a Black-owned business to take his place. The lawsuit alleges that it violates both city ordinance and federal law. In the lawsuit, he claims, quote, as a minority-owned business, Beat Kitchen supports the city's stated commitment to equity grounded in transparency, consistent rules, and lawful process. That is genuine equity. What Beat Kitchen cannot support and what federal and state law forbid but took place is the substitution of race-influenced directives and considerations for the rule-based evaluation required by law. And the lawsuit goes on to claim the panel of city officials that award Riverwalk licenses, quote, privately invited and accepted a late and deficient proposal from the race-favored vendor, altered and manipulated mandatory evaluation criteria, and applied undisclosed racial considerations that advantaged the privately invited vendor. Gomez says he followed all of the rules, only to see the city punish his business.
That's crushing. I mean, I have two music venues. The music industry has really struggled since COVID. Support for all of that, help the name of the brand out there. And more importantly, I put in over the 4 years $600,000 into that.
Yeah, you see, he's filing a civil rights lawsuit because you can't do. Let me explain something to the pro blacks. You can't do unto them what they did unto you. Just can't, because it's illegal and it doesn't work in your favor. As you can see, it's not even working in their favor anymore. So what makes you think it's going to work in your favor? We're now in a merit-based society. I'm sorry, the Biden administration is gone. This new MAGA Trump Republican administration is going to be in power for at least a good 12 years. Because after Trump do his 4, whether he make it or not, then you've got to deal with J.D. Vance's 8 years. Because there's nobody in the Republican ticket that you're looking at talking about, I'm going to nominate him. I'm going to vote for this person to be president. Gavin Newsom will more than likely be heading to prison. Jasmine Crockett will more than likely be heading to prison. Ilhan Omar will more than likely be heading to prison. AOC is a moron. Nobody's going to vote for her. She is worse than Kamala Harris. Bernie Sanders will probably be in the grave. Who the fuck are you going to vote for? What, Mondami? Wait till you see what he does to New York and tell me if you call yourself vote blue no matter who out here. Because, you know, Republicans are racist. We'll be in a merit-based society starting next year in 2 weeks. In 18 days, we'll be in a merit-based society. Nobody wants to hear all of this race garbage. You can forget it. You can forget it.
Now, the Beat Kitchen space was replaced with another local company, a popular Southside restaurant called Hare's Gulf Shrimp. The lawsuit is seeking to declare that license void and asking for financial damages due to lost revenue. Should clarify that new restaurant is not a party on this, and there is no alleged wrongdoing on them, only on the city's part. Now, a spokesperson for Chicago's Fleet and Facility Management Department, it's the agency that oversees the Riverwalk, said they don't comment on pending litigation. They did acknowledge back in April that they chose to go with another vendor in that spot. In May, the Trump Justice Department announced they were investigating racial discrimination or alleged racial discrimination in the Johnson administration after comments the mayor made that the DOJ interpreted as basing jobs and hiring on race qualifications. Now, Gomez will speak exclusively with us on the Chicago Report tonight at 10 p.m.
Yeah, because he actually said that. He actually spoke about his racist ideology. And do understand, I mean, I know we're all black and we're pro-black and whatnot and everything, but you can't be sitting up here just only granting businesses to black folks simply because they're black. That's stupid. That's why DEI failed. You have to be qualified. And then you said, and this is the funny thing. Let me tell you how dumb this is. So Brandon Johnson is killing business licenses to companies that aren't black owned, but he's going to give business licenses to companies that are black owned, while at the same time, if you have over 100 employees, he's going to tax you $21 a head per month for, you know, the employees that you have in order to subsidize the city treasury. But he's a typical, understand, he's a typical pro-black. Dumb as hell. Always talking about black this and champion black that, while at the same time he's cutting black people's throats. And black people don't see that. So you're going to overtax black businesses, or you're going to call yourself being a racist and skipping over the black businesses and only taxing the white businesses in the United States of America? As if that won't lead to your prosecution. Are you not understanding this? What even crazy that people still voting for him? Well, I mean, he's at 11%, so we'll see. All right, y'all. So, yeah, we're actually going to call it a day early. Can y'all believe that? Because the brother's hungry. I've got to take him some soups. I will catch y'all later. I'll probably see y'all tomorrow. Let's get out of here.
Demon King Satan! Satan!
Nope, not
Satan!
Satan!
Satan! Satan! Satan! Satan! Satan! Satan!
I actually felt retarded, like really retarded. I mean, I brushed my teeth retarded. I rode the bus retarded. Dang. In a weird way, I had to sort of just free myself up to believe that it was okay to be stupid or dumb.
To be a moron.
Yeah.
To be Morocco.
Exactly. To be a moron.
An imbecile.
Yeah.
Not the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived.
And even those who were out of step with what we are advocating, peaceful protest, did not create any violence. No.
You don't have the cards. You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you.
1, 2, 3.
And then I'm like, this baby motherfucker better not blow up by nuclear shit, or I'm gonna go loco on this bitch. And then he blows up all my nuclear shit, and I'm like, call my general. And they tell me, they're all dead, sir. And I'm like, assemble the army. And they're like, they're dead too, sir. So then I'm like, launch the friggin' missiles. And they're like, sir, they're gone, sir. So I'm like, what the fuck?
Damn, I know I shouldn't have called on this nigga. I shouldn't have called on you because you always kind of distract motherfucker. Fine, I'll answer your stupid ass question.
We have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Because Trump bad. Trump bad.
Get the fuck out!
All right, bye. Thanks for the fun.